When did it become cool and trendy to complain about the agents in our industry? When did that happen? Did I miss a memo? Oh, we're going to talk about it. Just picture this. You're a new swimmer. You head out doing your best, treading water, trying to figure it out, and you ask for help, and someone hands you a weight. Now, clearly, that sounds crazy absurd, right? That just helps you sink faster. And yet, this is exactly what's going on in our industry. And most bizarrely, in my opinion, the most bizarre phenomenon has happened. We start out with new swimmers, new agents trying to learn the business, eager, excited. And after year 2, you just got to figure it out. Maybe even year 1, maybe even 6 months. Good luck, new agent. And then we have talking heads complaining about the results. What in the what? I don't understand. And quite frankly, I'm a little insulted. I have, in the last 30 to 60 days, been noticing some people with some fairly large megaphones ramping this up a little bit. I disagree. And rather than just making this a rant, which I assure you I have done privately, rather than making this a rant, I wanted to dissect it, because what is going on? How are we, the people responsible for onboarding the initial phases and the evolution, the growth, the maturation of these agents, how are we allowed the bandwidth to complain if we're the ones responsible for them? That doesn't make any sense to me. We're blaming the agent, and we're yet ignoring who's handing them the weight, so to speak, or who's doing the training. That makes no sense, right? So rather than complaining, let's give the listeners, let's give you, hopefully, the people who are trying to do this business the right way. They have the right energy. We're after good people doing good things, right? We all know there's bad apples. We all know there's exceptions. That we all understand that there are some people who just won't grow, listen, or change. I'm not talking about those people. And when we have over 70% of new agents, not air quotes, being successful, I think there's room to talk about it for the leaders. I'm talking about trainers, I'm talking about myself, I'm talking about coaches, I'm talking about brokers, I'm talking about the overwhelming mandate given to brokers. Their workload is way too much. It's just an impossible task, in humble opinion. So let's start off with some exercise. Whew, you guys are saving me from a rant. I almost went there. Anyways, let's bring it back to the training. The agents are the result of your training. So let's do a little exercise together. If you're listening, there's 3 reasons why your agents aren't succeeding. Number 1, the tools you're giving them aren't very good. Number 2, your training is generally outdated. And P.S., if you're running systems and programs that you haven't updated in the last, 2 to 5 years, you are outdated. Full stop. Period. Or number 3, my favorite, you're giving them the wrong tool, and you haven't asked one very basic question from the start, which is, who are you training and what business model are they running? If we don't craft an environment with which to learn and grow past year 2. Okay, we all understand that new agents have to learn the contract, learn the nuts and bolts, learn how to open a box, all the things, right? And all of you already do a marvelous job of that, but that's where it ends. So past year 2, what business model, agent, are you running? If we as a training community, if we as a leading community aren't asking the agent, here are your offer. Here's the suite of business models that I see across the industry. Which one makes sense for you? It is only then that we can provide them with the right tools. Otherwise, we're doing one of two things. We're giving them the wrong tool, or we're giving them no training at all. And then we're complaining about that? Well, what on earth? That doesn't make any logical sense, does it? So again, I understand there are caveats. There are certain personality types, certain people who get into the industry that should not be here. Okay, we all understand that. I'm talking about those agents you have. And usually I see this in the $3 to $5 million range. You've got a good human trying to do the good things. You're trying to do good work, help people their way. And there's no path for them. None. How do I know that? Because I was one. So as you've heard me say this before, this is the whole impetus of why I created Identity Ops, and it's a whole training methodology. And this week's Substack goes into the training models in a fairly light manner. It's a joke. They're just jokes, folks. It's designed to make you laugh. So you can go to Substack and you can read a little bit more about those 3 different models. And very briefly here, I'll say you've got a transactional model, right? You've got a systemic or a relationship-based model, or you've got identity-based model. You've got 3 models. And if you as trainers, brokers, owners, if you don't have this framework, and take it, my goodness, I created it. I came up with it. I came up with this framing, but take it, use it, look at your agents and say, which model are you running? Which one makes sense for you? That way, we know if we're giving them a chance to swim without a weight vest or trying to hold a weight. It just doesn't, it's just never made any sense to me. So I want you to first start there. Start with examining what business model do you have the most of in your office? While I would love to one day see an entire franchise system full of identity-based agents, the truth of the matter is that you've probably got all 3. And since identity-based is just getting off the ground, those agents are probably few and far between. They're probably doing this, but they just haven't operationalized it yet. They haven't named it. They haven't put a system behind it. You've probably got a few of those. Those are the people who the systemic or the relationship-based model really isn't sticking with them, and yet they're great humans doing great things and you want to help them. Introduce them. Give them the options to grow and evolve. Because you as leaders, brokers and owners, you've got 2 options. Option 1, you can stake a claim, stick a flag in the ground. This is how we believe real estate agents should operate here. This is our methodology. Build it, train it, and then stand behind it. You can do that. That's option 1. And I'm talking about past year 2. I'm not talking, none of us are allowed to say we've got training covered because we know we have an onboarding system. That's not enough anymore, not acceptable, and it's not what's going to retain and recruit for you anymore. Humble opinion, humble. Now, option 1, okay, state your point of view, build the training system, teach people how to run it, really stand behind it, and do a world-class job. of that training. Option number 2, you've got those 3 types. Which of the 3 types do you have the most of in your office? Okay. What tools do you need to provide to them? Okay. Just defaulting to any third party and saying good luck to your agents, I don't think it's going to turn out well in the next 2 to 5 years. I think we've got to really change the mindset about this. So, not to belabor the point, but just answer this. Who works for you? What do they need? Will you provide it? And here's the real sticky part. What are you doing to uphold those standards? If you've got an agent where you've given them 3 business models and they're not showing up for anything and they're not participating no matter what you do, okay, well then why are they working for you? That I get. If you want to, that I get. You got to show up. But working agents who are really doing this business every day, we know that motivation is not an issue. So you don't get to complain unless you show me your method. You don't get to complain if you're not training your method. Pony up. Before you start to complain, pony up. If you can show me your method and you can show me how somebody didn't show up for it and all the steps you took past year 2, great. Otherwise, in my world, you don't get to complain about what you created, right? And if you do, in closing, if you do come across somebody who's railing against the agents, or my most favorite complaint is, if only my agents used my tools. If only they were consistent. Well, maybe you got bad tools. Maybe you're handing them a weight vest and they're trying to swim. So if you hear those people complaining, either in common conversation, on a podcast, on a stage, just know that's a signal. They are showing you who they are. And in my book, that's a leader who doesn't know how to grow one. Doesn't that sting a little bit? It should. So, heads up to those of you who have complained about agents. Here's an agent saying that's not fair unless you've done the work like I have. I will cap it there. Agents, Godspeed, leaders, I love you. I love some of you. We'll talk next week.